What if a single name, just one name, were capable of surpassing politicians, national athletes, and state figures in shaping how a nation is perceived by the world? Is this merely a pop phenomenon? Or is it instead a signal of a deeper, simultaneously unsettling and astonishing shift in global cultural power? These questions echoed when the results of the 2025 National Image Survey of the Republic of Korea were released on January 20th by South Korea's Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism, an official state report typically read dispassionately by academics and policymakers, but this time erupting into the public sphere because of one unavoidable fact. Jungkook, a member of BTS who now stands as a solo singer, emerged not merely as a popular musician, but as the individual with the most positive impact on South Korea's image among all solo singers. This is not simply good news, it is an anomaly. In a world increasingly skeptical of celebrity symbols, a national survey involving cross-country and cross-generational perceptions has instead placed a pop idol in a strategic position in shaping the face of a nation. Jungkook ranked 6th overall among individuals from various fields, celebrities, athletes, and politicians, assessed as contributing positively to South Korea's image, an achievement made even more striking by the fact that he scored 2.5 percentage points above the overall average, the highest among all solo singers. This figure is not just a statistic, it is a hidden message about how the world operates today. Why does this feel so surprising? Because for decades, national image has been constructed through official diplomacy, foreign policy, economic power, and political narratives. Yet now, state data show that the music, persona, and artistic consistency of Jungkook are able to reach spaces untouched by political speeches or billion-won state campaigns. This is the point at which the question turns into intellectual unease. Are we witnessing the emergence of a new form of soft power, where national identity is personified by a figure of popular culture born from the entertainment industry? This survey does not exist in a vacuum. It speaks through numbers that are cold yet full of meaning. When the data are broken down by age group, it becomes clear that Jungkook's influence is not only broad, but also deeply rooted in the generation that will shape future global perceptions. Teenagers accounted for 6.7% in recognizing Jungkook's positive impact on Korea's image, followed by those in their 20s at 4.6%, and those in their 30s at 1.7%. This pattern is not a statistical coincidence, but an indication that Jungkook has become a cultural symbol for the world's youth. A generation raised on algorithms, global streaming, and cross-national identities. It is here that this story begins to shift from mere entertainment news into a socio-cultural phenomenon. Young people do not simply consume Jungkook's music. They attach emotional experiences, aesthetic values, and even perceptions of South Korea itself to him. Korea, in the global imagination of this generation, is no longer only about technology, K-dramas, or cuisine, but also about the voice, image, and narratives carried by Jungkook. While states struggle to build national branding, Jungkook has accomplished it organically, across borders, and without the language of formal diplomacy. Even more striking, country-by-country data reveals something that feels almost surreal. Jungkook ranked among figures who enhance Korea's image in 13 of the 25 countries surveyed. He placed 4th in Russia, 5th in Brazil and Malaysia, 6th in Egypt, 7th in India and Mexico, 8th in Italy, Kazakhstan, Spain, and the United Arab Emirates, 9th in Argentina, and 10th in the United States and Indonesia. This geographic span is not merely wide, it reflects a level of cross-cultural penetration usually reserved for historical figures or major ideological leaders. The fact that Jungkook appears consistently across countries with vastly different political, cultural, and historical backgrounds raises an unavoidable question. What is the world actually seeing in Jungkook? Is it simply about his music, or about the representation of modern Korea that he embodies, youthful, disciplined, emotional, and global? This survey implicitly answers that Jungkook has moved beyond the category of K-pop idol and entered a broader symbolic realm as a face of South Korea in the eyes of the world. The significance of these findings grows even stronger when one realizes that these rankings are not confined to the entertainment sphere. Jungkook competes directly with figures from sports and politics, two domains traditionally regarded as pillars of national image. In this context, his position as a solo singer with the highest impact is not merely a personal achievement, but a reflection of a paradigm shift regarding who is entitled and able to represent a nation in the era of digital globalization. What makes it all even more compelling is consistency. Jungkook is not a newcomer to surveys of this kind. In the 2025 Overseas Hallyu Status Survey, based on 2024 data, he ranked 6th in the category of most favored K-pop singers. A year earlier, in the 2024 survey based on 2023 data, he even reached 4th place. 2 consecutive years in the top 10 is not a coincidence, but a pattern indicating stability of influence in a global market notorious for its brutality and short memory. At this point, it is difficult not to use a word rarely found in state reports: congratulations. Congratulations, Jungkook, not only for the numerical achievements, but for proving that artistic consistency, work ethic, and an emotional bond with a global audience can crystallize into a cultural force officially recognized by the state. Yet this congratulation also carries broader implications about responsibility, expectations, and Jungkook's place in the cultural history of Korea as it is being rewritten. When the 2025 National Image Survey of the Republic of Korea mapped Jungkook's impact by age group, the results revealed a pattern that cannot be dismissed lightly. Teenagers, an age group often regarded as culturally unstable in their preferences, emerged as the largest contributors at 6.7%. They were followed by those in their 20s at 4.6% and those in their 30s at 1.7%. This data conveys a message far greater than mere popularity. It signals that Jungkook has become an emotional and cultural reference point for a generation in the process of shaping how it views the world. It is here that the emotional and sociological dimensions begin to intersect. Young people do not listen to Jungkook's music solely as entertainment. They internalize the values they associate with him: discipline, hard work, humility, and global ambition. In this context, Jungkook does not stand as an isolated individual, but as a representation of South Korea itself. Korea is perceived not through state policies or economic reports, but through the voice, visuals, and personal narratives that Jungkook carries onto the global stage. This phenomenon grows even stronger when cross-national data are examined more closely. Jungkook's presence in the rankings of figures who enhance Korea's image in Russia, Brazil, Malaysia, Egypt, India, Mexico, Italy, Kazakhstan, Spain, the United Arab Emirates, Argentina, the United States, and Indonesia shows that his influence crosses geopolitical boundaries long considered difficult to penetrate. Countries with vastly different ideological, cultural, and historical backgrounds appear to share one common point: recognition of Jungkook as a positive face of South Korea. What makes this so striking is the current global context, in which cultural fragmentation is intensifying and nationalist sentiment tends to grow stronger. In such a climate, it is difficult to imagine a single cultural figure being widely accepted without resistance. Yet Jungkook emerges as an exception. He does not appear as a symbol of cultural dominance, but as a figure embraced emotionally, personally, and organically by a global audience. This may be why the survey feels so significant. It measures not fleeting popularity but internalized perception. More than that, the fact that Jungkook is recognized in 13 of the 25 countries surveyed demonstrates a level of penetration typically achieved only by figures with major historical roles. Yet unlike political leaders or ideological figures, Jungkook carries no explicit agenda. He brings music, performance, and personal narrative. It is precisely this absence of a formal agenda that makes his influence feel stronger and harder to resist. The world does not feel persuaded. The world feels connected. Within this framework, Jungkook becomes a tangible example of how soft power operates in its purest form. Without state speeches, political symbols, or propagandistic narratives, he shapes how millions of people perceive South Korea. This survey indirectly confirms that popular culture has moved beyond its traditional role as entertainment and now functions as an effective instrument in shaping national image. Jungkook's consistency in overseas Hallyu surveys for 2 consecutive years further reinforces this narrative. 6th place in 2025 and 4th place the year before are not random fluctuations, but indications of stable influence within a global industry known for its volatility. In a world where trends shift within weeks, remaining in the top 10 for 2 consecutive years is a rare achievement, especially for a solo Asian artist in a highly competitive global market. To this point, a question becomes increasingly difficult to avoid. Is Jungkook shaping a new standard for how an artist contributes to their country? Where cultural contribution was once measured through music exports or group popularity, the metric now appears more complex and personal. Jungkook does not merely carry his songs into the world, he carries an image of Korea that is modern, emotional, and human. The phrase "Congratulations Jungkook," echoing across social media and global fan communities, no longer sounds like a simple fandom celebration. It has transformed into a collective acknowledgement of Jungkook's role within the global cultural landscape. A congratulation that simultaneously carries awareness that this achievement has implications far greater than trophies or rankings. And this is still not the peak. Because behind the surveys and state recognition lies another international stage that further reinforces Jungkook's legitimacy, not only as a cultural icon, but as a global force acknowledged by the world's music industry. It is there that the next surprise awaits, when award after award locks Jungkook's position into history, not only in K-pop, but in global music as a whole. Recognition of Jungkook does not stop at official reports from the South Korean government. In the United States, the center of the global entertainment industry, known for being selective and often closed to non-Western artists, Jungkook has instead made history. At the 2024 iHeartRadio Music Awards, he won Artist of the Year K-pop and took home Best Music Video for 7 featuring Latto. 2 wins in a single night were not merely personal achievements, but also set a record as the highest number of wins ever achieved by a solo Asian artist in the history of the event. This fact alone is enough to change how the world views the position of Asian artists in the global music market. But the story does not end there. At the 2024 People's Choice Awards, an event that reflects the direct choices of the global public, Jungkook won Male Artist of the Year, becoming the first and only Asian artist to achieve this distinction. In this context, Jungkook's victory was not the result of closed-door jury deliberations, but a direct reflection of global audience preference. He was chosen, agreed upon, and recognized by a cross-cultural public legitimacy that goes far beyond fleeting popularity. When the 2024 Billboard Music Awards later crowned him winner of Top K-Pop Album for his solo album Golden and Top Global K-Pop Song for Standing Next to You, the pattern became even clearer. This was no longer about one viral song or a single career peak. It was a sequence of consistency that firmly established Jungkook as a global force. Album, song, performance, and public reception all moved in the same direction, forming a solid narrative that is difficult to refute. It is here that the meaning of the National Image Survey finds its context once again. When the state declares that Jungkook is the solo singer with the most positive impact on South Korea's national image, that statement does not stand alone. It is reinforced by the fact that the global music industry, international media, and worldwide audiences consistently deliver the same recognition. In Jungkook's case, the state and the world speak in a unified language. This phenomenon leads us to a broader, and perhaps more emotional conclusion. Jungkook has surpassed the traditional role of an artist. He functions as a cultural bridge, as a living narrative of a modern, creative, and relevant South Korea. His music is the medium, but its impact spills into the realm of national identity. In a world that is increasingly fragmented, Jungkook instead becomes a point of convergence, a place where different nations, generations, and backgrounds can form a shared perception of South Korea. The phrase "Congratulations Jungkook" ultimately becomes more than a celebration of individual achievement. It is a collective acknowledgement of a cultural phenomenon. Congratulations for proving that music can become the most effective language of diplomacy. Congratulations for demonstrating that an artist, through consistency and integrity, can influence how the world views a nation. And congratulations for affirming that none of this is the result of coincidence, but rather the accumulation of long-term work, discipline, and an authentic emotional connection built with a global audience. When the cultural history of South Korea in the era of globalization is written in the future, the name Jungkook will likely be remembered not only as a member of BTS or a solo singer with extraordinary records, but as one of the figures who changed the trajectory of Korea's soft power. From national surveys to global award stages, from younger generations to cross-national recognition, one common thread is now unmistakably clear. Jungkook is not merely part of South Korea's story in the eyes of the world. He is one of its principal authors. If there is one thing that stands out most strikingly from this entire sequence of events, it is the silence that accompanies it. There has been no official declaration naming Jungkook as a state cultural ambassador, no symbolic coronation, and no large-scale campaign deliberately constructed to elevate his name as the face of South Korea. Yet it is precisely within this absence that his influence has grown the strongest. The world does not feel directed. The world feels as though it has reached its own conclusion. This is the most effective form of soft power in the 21st century, where perception is shaped not through instruction, but through repeated emotional experience. Jungkook's songs are played in teenagers' bedrooms across the globe, broadcast on international radio stations, and become the soundtrack to millions of personal moments. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, South Korea enters global daily life not as an abstract entity, but as something familiar, human, and close. In this context, the 2025 National Image Survey of the Republic of Korea is not merely an annual report, but a mirror of changing times. It demonstrates that a nation's strength is no longer measured solely by gross domestic product or military power, but by its ability to build emotional connections across borders. Jungkook, through all of his achievements, has become the medium of that connection. Perhaps this is why Jungkook's accomplishments feel so emotionally stirring. They are not a story of instant fortune, but of consistency under global scrutiny, of how an individual preserves quality, identity, and a relationship with their audience, until the world ultimately responds with trust. It is this trust that is now reflected in data, awards, and cross-national recognition. At the closing point of this narrative, one conclusion becomes increasingly clear. Jungkook did not top the national survey because of popularity alone, but because he has become a symbol of the South Korea the world wants to see. Creative, open, competitive, and globally relevant. And when the phrase "Congratulations, Jungkook" echoes, it carries a meaning far deeper than congratulations for personal achievement. It is a congratulation for a shift in how the world understands cultural power, and for Jungkook's role as one of the unspoken architects of that change.